Welcome to My Long Island TV. From Manhasset to Montauk, we have traveled our communities to bring you the following events. I'm your host, Waldo Cabrera. My Long Island TV starts now.
It is our response to the Superstorm Sandy that defined who we are as an industry. Throwing away the crisis management plan book to begin the task of recovery, restoration, and rebuilding. I suspect the full story of the members of the Long Island Contractors Association accomplishments will never be told. Today's purpose was to invite our government officials from the federal government and the state level to talk about what our response was to Hurricane Sandy and how we're available, and during times of crisis, the construction industry are the first responders. And the officials in turn wanted to share with us their plans to make further investments so we do not have to be concerned about future disasters. We meet with the Commissioner's office directly, and the dialogue is continuous. So we have a favorable working relationship, and I think that helped in all the storm responses. When the storm hits, people say, oh, that's great, you're all going back to work. Yes, that's true, but we're going to work in a storm response, a recovery effort. But what does that do? It depletes the governments of their funding. So their long-term capital plans, they're budgeting down the road that they intended to do certain repairs. Now they don't have the cash available to do that. So long-term, this may not be beneficial. Regardless, we have to respond to the issue, and we'll deal with the money issues after the fact.
The governor's executive budget includes $3.7 billion in capital funding for the department for highways, bridges, rail, aviation, and non-MTA transit.
We've lost nearly 16,000 jobs since the recession hit nearly 3 years ago. And we are an industry, particularly on Long Island, where the gross regional product that we generate is greater than anywhere else in the nation. And also in construction, the companies here on Long Island are based and family owned. So when they go to work, it's not shipping the revenues or anything that they make to some corporate headquarters in another land. The money stays here on Long Island. So the best way to contribute to our economy is to invest in construction.
After the storm, Long Island had 568 dark signals with about 12 sustaining heavy damage. But by November 19th, all of these were operational. I would be remiss if I didn't thank the industry. What you did was stupendous.
We have a fabulous partnership with the Long Island Contractors Association. We do approximately $270 million worth of construction work every year on Long Island. We're addressing climate change very proactively, looking at different ways to make our existing system more resilient, looking at how we identify ways to get people into mass transit. We work very closely with the Long Island Railroad. We support the second track construction. We're also working with County Executive Balone on looking at the Sag to Coast and making some transit improvements on the Sag to Coast. It won't happen tomorrow, but those are things that we are always proactively looking at.
The Commission 2100 report outlines 6 areas to develop: unified emergency protocols, strategic fuel reserves and equipment, supply stockpiles, comprehensive vulnerability assessments, strengthening existing infrastructure, creating redundancies, and building a resilient future.
Our 2 biggest priorities on Long Island are safety and congestion. Well, one way to look at traffic is, that means the economy is moving and goods are moving and people are moving. And my advice to people on the island is always work with us as we look at alternative ways to move both people and goods. There's been a great investment in Brookhaven with a freight railroad that added to put freight rail into service and take trucks off of the Long Island Expressway. So we continually look at ways to make it better.
One of Victor Mendez's top priorities as Federal Highway Administrator has been to streamline construction projects, to figure out ways to deliver these projects in a shorter amount of time.
Some of the things he said were very encouraging, potentially talking about trying to change the way they deliver projects and expedite the projects. I believe he said the large projects take 15 years to build from start to finish. from original design to finish, and that's way too long.
There is no question that Sandy will become a permanent part of our region's history. But more than the storm's wreckage, its destruction and loss, it will be the accomplishments of those who helped rebuild, and that will define the true legacy of this hurricane. To paraphrase a great statement, this may be our finest hour. Thank you to all who helped in the recovery of Sandy.